host of today's Window Talk is Philip and Matilda Meeker Smelzer. The image on the window is that of lilies, and the window was given by their daughter Helen, wife of Henry Peterson. Philip St. John Smelzer was born in 1814 in Ireland and came to this country at the age of 5 by way of Montreal, Canada, with his father Michael and mother Mary St. John Smelzer. Philip's son Louis was married to Henrietta Crisfield, who we mentioned in a discussion of one of our other windows a few weeks ago. His son John was a captain for the Seneca Lake Steam Navigation Company, and his son Baxter T. was a highly respected doctor in the Havana area of Havana, New York. Let's turn to Philip's obituary. It was published in the Watkins Express on May 27, 1886. Philip Smelzer, who died recently on his fine farm of 300 acres on the east slope of Seneca Lake, was one of the representative men of this section of the state. Not only had he, by energy and perseverance, secured himself a competency, but his efforts aided his children in their endeavors, and he lived to behold them all in comfortable circumstances and located about him. All were present at his deathbed and funeral services, which was largely attended and conducted at his late residence by the pastor Reverend White of this church. Along with those mentioned earlier, Philip and Matilda's children also include Mary, wife of Abram Campbell of Lodi, Jane, wife of Charles Coleman of Lodi, Miss Helen Smelzer, who resides at the homestead, Sarah, wife of Warren Hurd of Watkins, Mary, wife of Louis Smelzer of Lodi, and Addie, wife of Samuel Van Vliet of Ovid. The following life sketch was published in the Ovid Independent. It says, Philip Smelzer died of congestive fever after a brief illness at his late home in Lodi on May 11, 1886, age 72. He is of German parentage and came to this country with his parents when he was 5 years old. At the age of 20, he married Matilda Meeker, who survives him, and together they settled on the farm which he was occupying at the time of his death. His 8 living children were by his bedside when his spirit took its upward flight to God who gave it. He had been an honorable member and cheerful supporter of the Lodi Methodist Episcopal Church for half a century, serving in it the various official relations which he was called to sustain. As a citizen, he was greatly respected. In politics, he was an ardent supporter of the principles of the Republican Party. As a businessman, he was prompt, energetic, laborious, frugal, and wise in the management of his affairs, and thereby accumulated a very handsome and valuable estate. In spirit, he was genial, kind, compassionate, and a man of positive personal convictions and great energy in executing his decisions and plans. In his domestic relationship, he was affectionate, indulgent, and ruled his house well, and was the worthy recipient of the joy and pride of his children and grandchildren. So, what was his farm worth? The newspaper reports that in 1896, Charles Coleman and Henry Peterson, his 2 son-in-laws, attended the sale of the farm known as the Philip Smelzer Place last Saturday, they said. Charles Coleman was the lucky man who purchased the farm for $9,050. One of the most interesting things I found about Philip and Matilda Smelzer is this account of their family Christmas, December 25th, 1878. The article appeared in the newspaper on January 1st, 1879. It gives a remarkable insight into the family life of this couple and a glimpse into the home of a family living here in Lodi at that time. A family gathering on Christmas Day the children and grandchildren gathered at the old homestead of Philip Smelzer in Lodi. After exchanging presents came the Christmas dinner, of which all partook heartily, but of course, as no one can cook like Mother. Time passed so pleasantly that it was evening before they were aware. Then came singing, which featured Father, who hardly has an equal for a man of his age. After singing, the grandchildren started playing blind man's bluff, and in short time the parents thought they were children as well, and they joined in too. A right Merry Christmas was had, and one long to be remembered by both old and young. May God spare our lives to meet again at the old homestead on a similar occasion. And this was written by one of their children. And this is the story of Philip and Matilda Meeker Smelzer. Thank you.